Welcome back again, people, to another episode of There Will Be Duds. This does feel weird to do it right after to do the whole intro thingy and whatever. But
I think it feels good. It feels so good.
This is how the pros do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
And
yeah.
Let's do another one after this. I'm ready. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Let's have the movie on our other monitors. The next
recommendation. Yeah, we've all got got 6 monitors with like 2 movies playing simultaneously. We've routed the audio around.
We'll do a 24-hour stream where we do 12 podcast recordings in a row.
And then we'll kill ourselves.
Yeah.
If we've lasted that long.
Because we will definitely start seeing Freddy Krueger for real.
Yeah.
And throughout all of that marathon stream, I will be your co-host, J-Spot Jack Cheese, aka TJ, and with me, as always.
That was so smooth.
As always, I am Nick, aka Dr. Funk on Twitch.
Oh, that feels
as
so
always,
good.
I'm Travis, aka the Super General.
My body is ready. Oh, I am Moose from the pod. We decided last time.
Nice. Yeah.
Tommy.
Let me update that on stream real quick.
That was a much better transition than 2 hours ago when I did it last time.
We had to practice.
Yeah.
That was really good. I might just listen to when we do. I might listen to those 30 seconds of the pod on a loop when I'm working out or something. Just to keep me motivated.
You're working out, yeah.
This is what is possible. This is what human beings are capable of, and you can do that too.
Achievement we've
Tommy.
ever made.
Smooth transitions.
And we watched another movie this week, or
this morning.
Just a movie this week. If you're listening on the pod, there's nothing different about this.
Or
this morning,
at all.
some of us.
Except now there is, because you keep calling attention to it, so now everybody else feels they know they're outcasts.
I just want people to realize how dedicated we are. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they should follow us at twitch.tv/therewillbeduds.
Yeah.
And then they'll be on schedule. They'll know. They'll see it live.
Or look up There Will Be Duds on YouTube, where the video gets uploaded faster than the audio does.
That's because there's hardly any editing to the video.
So if you want to be real nitpicky, you could see what gets cut and what doesn't get cut versus the audio and the video.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah,
director's
cut. You can make
for the diehards out there.
Yeah.
You can make a page for it on therewillbeduds.fandom.com.
Yeah. and villains.wiki or whatever.
Yeah, there's detailed
one of us
detailed
is there
notes
with the
of
Eraserhead baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if you just want to if you want to listen to the only good parts of the episodes, you can just follow the Instagram or Facebook page and get the little 1 minute clips, because those are the only parts you need to listen to.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we usually have one good 1 minute section, and that's about it.
And I guess we already passed it for Moose. It was that 30 seconds at the beginning.
Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah.
It's all downhill from there.
If you really, really want just the good parts, you can email me at moosefromthegame@gmail.com, and I can send you just the recording of my voice without these other fuckers ruining it.
Or if you want to see us up close and personal, you can come to my house at
boop, boop, boop.
But yeah, also Travis watched something that he wanted to talk about. Didn't you?
Oh,
yes.
You
said you had 2 things.
Yeah. No, it actually, well, people who are listening to this, it has been out for a week and a half, but it came out October 1st. It's called Maid. It's got Margaret Qualley and Andy McDowell plays her mom, which is kind of cool.
Because that's her mom. For those who don't know.
Yes, it is her mom. And it's got the two guys that we were having the debate about last night, which one was more handsome.
Okay.
You ever settle on one?
Well, I mean, it's
obvious
the bearded guy. Yeah,
it's the bearded guy. I think his name's Abraham A. Black or something like that.
That's a cool name too.
Yeah,
he's even more attractive now to me.
Yeah, the gift that I sent to the chat, that's the only gift
Raymond.
that came up. Raymond.
His name's Raymond. That's not as cool as Abraham.
Anyways, yeah, that GIF was the only. I searched his name and that was the only GIF that came up. So like that's why you got that one. But yeah, no, it's the one kid is from. He's from Moose is losing it. He's the older brother from Jurassic World, and he looks like way different. He doesn't look like a kid anymore.
Okay.
But basically, the story is it starts with Margaret Qualley taking her 3-year-old daughter in the middle of the night and leaving her house with her boyfriend or fiance, whatever. Basically, it's about domestic violence kind of thing. She runs off. She's got no money. She's got like literally $18, and yeah, it's a limited series based on a book, a memoir, and she gets a job at a.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's.
So this is a true story.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it seems like it's not gonna be like Pursuit of Happiness level like turnaround, but it is like the characters are all like pretty interesting, and I don't know. It got us hooked to the point that we watched like half the entire. I think it's only gonna be one season because it doesn't say. Yeah. It says limited series. It doesn't say like. But who knows if it's popular enough? They'll probably
I can respect that.
Oh yeah, I would prefer that.
I like when a series knows that they've finished the story and then they just stop telling.
Unlike Orange is the New Black, where it's like, oh, here's a memoir, and let's have like a season, and then no, let's cram like 7 more seasons into this shit.
Yeah. I mean, also at this point in my life, the shorter a show is, the better for me. So
yes, yeah.
So
it's
like
funny.
2 or 3 seasons is good.
I was watching a Drew Gooden video the other day where he talked about Lost, and like
I'd watched that too. Yeah,
the exact thing where like the original creators of Lost were like, yeah, we could probably get it done in like 3 seasons, and then
it makes total sense when I heard that too. You think of like where the 3rd season ends too.
ABC's like, we're making so much money on. You think we're gonna stop after that?
Yeah,
we're gonna stretch.
It happens so much. Fucking Dragon Ball Z, Supernatural, Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Fucking Cell Games is the perfect ending for that show. As much as I like the Boo saga, as much as I like the fights at the latter 3 seasons of that show, probably my favorite, if we're going straight combat, the Kid Boo versus Vegeta and Goku fights. My favorite fights, straight up combat, but fucking hell, it hurts that they didn't end it.
Adapted from a manga?
It was, and they made the guy like it was the same thing. It was like it's like a roping in another series like this. It's like the Hannibal Lecter series.
Oh yeah.
The publishing company were like, "Hey, you need to write a Hannibal origin story because those are really popular right now." And Thomas Harris was like, "Well, no, I ended it. I finished. I'm done. I don't need to make any more of them. I finished. It was a trilogy, and I ended it." And then they were like, okay, well, we have the rights to the characters, so if you don't, we're going to do it. And Thomas Harris was like, well, nobody's fucking writing my characters except for me. And that's what happened with Dragon Ball Z, too. They were like, well, we have the rights, so we're going to keep doing Dragon Ball Z if you don't, Akira. And then Akira Toriyama was like, no, it's my characters. So he wasn't like happy with it, you know. He wanted to end it at Cell, but they, yeah.
So is it Red Dragon, Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal, and then Hannibal Rising?
Yeah, Hannibal Rising is the last.
And then Cell Games.
And then the Cell Games, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I have those 3 books. I don't even have the 4th
Red
book.
Dragon.
Dragging these nuts.
Fuck me.
2 for 2. Back to back.
Damn, that's 2. All right, well, if that's like your weekly thing, then if we're gonna like establish all of these things that we do every episode, like that's
because you didn't
but now I've got
It's Always Sunny last year.
Yeah, I didn't.
Last week.
I only get one. I get one corner.
Yeah,
there's 4 corners in a room, most common rooms. So,
but that's
only get one per app.
That was like why I dove into Squid Games or Squid Game, because I was like, hey, it's 9 episodes. And that's it. Cool. And I watched like half of it in one sitting, and I'm like, cool. That's half over, baby. Like, and I enjoy it, but it's like
See, I was wondering if you would do that. Now everybody's gonna be on edge every time I like ask somebody to repeat something.
Wait, no. What did you say?
Dragon Games. I don't know.
He said Squid Game. I was making
Oh.
making a joke that he was gonna. I was wondering if he was gonna like hesitate to
I
think
was
if
like,
there was a nuts joke in there.
Squid Game and
There will be
these nuts.
Okay. And then I genuinely didn't understand what you said, and then now we're
Yeah.
on this part.
Yes.
We can cut this out of the.
Yeah.
Here it is. Here's us
Yeah, this is
that
us.
are just laying bare our naked.
What were you going to
awkwardness.
talk about, Moose? The animation thing? I
Oh,
was
yeah.
more curious.
Yeah. So this
Jovy
week
Hanson or whatever.
I binge watched all of Joel Haver's animations.
That's what I said.
Joel, yeah, it's definitely what TJ just said. He nailed it. He never forgets his name. Yeah, he's a YouTuber. He makes weekly short films, and they had this fun improvisational, goofy sort of aesthetic to him, and he sometimes he'll like rotoscope them and it's a very distinctive style that other people have picked up on, and now there's a lot more people making this similar content, which is pretty cool.
Matthew McCluskey, if you guys don't know the one that he's talking about, Matthew McCluskey is another really popular one who does like the same style.
Yeah, he does all those Stardew Valley videos.
Yeah,
where he's like
a lot of video gamey.
Yeah. And so and Joel Haver's shit kind of like has that same sort of Grandpa Crane vibe of just like sort of
being genius,
wacky
hilarious
shit that you and your buddies come up with, home movies that you and your buddies make to be goofy. No, but also with like a very serious artistic side too, like important shit.
It is a cool. The rotoscoping like effect is pretty neat too. Like a
exactly.
simple way to animate. It's kind of neat.
I think it would be awesome. Like TJ, like if my dream power would be to get you to rotoscope like The Shining or Straight Away, and
That'd be awesome.
It's an extremely time intensive process, and probably there's no way on heaven and earth to make it worth it for you.
We can make a sequel to The Shining called A Scanner Shartly, and we can rotoscope that.
Yeah.
Oh shit! That was good. That was quick.
I like that. You should definitely. I want to see you get in on this rotoscoping game, because I think you'd rock at it. Yeah.
Or fucking anything about animation. You know?
Yeah, well, I'm sure I feel like it's like a Snapchat filter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Eventually, probably. And that's the thing. You can't like anytime something like there's like a little niche like this, they're like, oh, this is a cool animation style. It's gonna get a fucking Snapchat filter or like a TikTok challenge, and it's gonna be everywhere. Yeah, and it's not gonna be special anymore.
See, we gotta get in on like the floor here. We gotta get in like early.
Yeah, it's time.
We gotta
That's
write
what he's
this
saying.
app.
Yeah, we gotta we gotta make some we gotta make a Duds TikTok account, and then we gotta make basically like 5-second films, but we gotta rotoscope them, and then profit.
Yeah.
I see it.
I think that's how it works. I think that's what happened.
I think there was.
I do like the idea of
rotoscoping too. So
doing 5-second films of like spoofs on every movie we watch each week or whatever.
Okay. Ooh.
Kind of like Travis's Amadeus video, but like we have to like come up with something for every.
I just haven't been inspired to like. I mean, I probably could have done something for Nightmare on Elm Street, like.
Oh, there's so much room to.
I could have done shit for Oculus with the giant
he has
mirror
the
in my bedroom.
Mirror.
Yeah,
I was about to say.
That's true.
Nick has
like,
this
the frame too.
Oh, it's very similar.
Yeah. Nick has this mirror that is just old and creepy and gives off the exact same vibes as the haunted one in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Where
Yours
is it in your bedroom, Nick?
It's in the
like,
bedroom.
do you see
yeah.
it every
Oh,
morning
yeah.
when you wake up?
Oh yeah,
Every
the
night
cats,
when
the
you
cats
go
like to
the last
jump on
thing
it
you
and
see.
knock shit off of it in the middle of the night.
Awesome.
Or maybe
Yours
it's ghost. I don't
actually-
know.
It's
Do
actually
you have like a kill
attached.
switch with like a boat anchor that's ready to just like swing down and,
Yeah.
and kill it?
I get up in the middle of the night to go piss, and I like hit the tripwire and just get like impaled.
Sidewind.
Yeah.
Yours is attached to like a desk too, so it's got like legs. It could like walk around.
Yeah, yeah.
The other one was
I think
kind
it,
of
I
like
think it does have.
stationary.
I think it does have like the option to hang it on the wall, but like I'm in an apartment complex, so that shit would just like it would just tear out immediately unless I found like studs that were perfectly lined up for it, and even then, suckers. Heavy.
Wait, what did you say? Perfectly lined up for these nuts. Never mind. Sorry.
You tried.
You can. I did.
I'm not cutting that out.
I wanted to say again, because all I watched other than Squid Game, all I watched this week was basically the movies that we had to watch and then stuff related to them. So I started okay, perfect. I started the new, because I was seeing what Mike Flanagan was up to, the director of Oculus, which we'll get into shortly.
We decided it's Falananagan. There's an
Flanagan.
extra A in there.
Okay. What he was up to, and I started he has a new series on Netflix that I didn't know about, another like limited series called Midnight Mass. I just watched the first episode, so I don't have much to say about it. Didn't strike me as much as the first episode of Hill House did, which is my favorite thing of his that I've seen. I still think Hill House is his best, as much as I do enjoy a few of his movies.
Did he also do Bly Manor?
Yep, he did.
yes.
Which
Damn, this
like
guy
it,
is
but it
pumping
wasn't
out
as like
content.
yeah,
Look at
he
him
is. He's
go.
had one. He's had like one a year pretty much since Hill House. And then, but I also wanted to mention, this kind of weird pseudo connection between this and the last movie that we did, which is Nightmare on Elm Street 3 for people who are just tuning in or whatever.
Dream Warriors.
So he has another limited series next year on Netflix called The Midnight Club, and it centers around a group of young adults at this. It's in a hospice care center, like they're terminal patients, but it's all these young adults, and the group's doctor is played by Heather Langenkamp, who is Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh,
I thought
my
that was
God.
such a weird coincidence.
It's all full circle.
A sort of similar idea, young adults at a care center, and yeah, it's the same actress who like isn't a big name actress, right? So it's, unless he intentionally cast her because of Dream Warriors, I don't know. It just seems very coincidental.
Possible.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. So now if we're good to move on. So speaking break time.
Oh, we were
Here's
so
an ad.
good at the beginning.
Man,
The beginning was so good.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I kind of did that.
All of the
I fucked it
mojo
up
went
on
into
purpose.
that.
I was thinking of doing the speaking of when we come back, so I was like purposely fucking that up.
Speaking of Anchor,
Yeah,
Oh,
speaking
shit.
of ads. Oh yeah, we were because of the thing.
Yeah.
yeah. All right,
Okay.
so we're back.
Welcome
we're
back.
We're back.
We did it.
And
Speaking of Anchor,
I'm back.
speaking of Anchor, it doesn't really work if the thing, like, we were referencing the same thing that was in the movie, so like it doesn't it's like you can't be like, oh, speaking of a mirror that kills people, Oculus. We all watched the movie
No, I'm talking-
Oculus.
That
Wait, I'm
was
talking
good
about
enough for
the
me.
ad, right? We're on the same page.
Oh yeah,
there?
there was an ad for
Oh,
Anchor.fm.
yeah, so that would fuck me.
Yeah.
And now we're in a second ad for Anchor.
Oh,
I
you
thought we were
FM.
mentioning
Yeah.
the Anchor beforehand.
TJ didn't get the joke.
No,
No,
was
I did
referencing-
think of
didn't get the
Anchor, but then
joke.
like maybe because we didn't do the ad live, I was like, I realized that was, our podcast sponsor or whatever, but I don't know. Speaking of
we
Anchor,
do, we do the
Let's start off. Yeah,
we
let's
record
Speaking,
the ad
speaking
every
of
week.
wanting to die.
Yeah.
yeah, we all watched
I
Oculus.
could really use my dream power right now.
From 2013, directed by Mike Falananagan, Ratatata, Mike Ratatata. And it tells the story of these two siblings who the brother was recently released from I think like a psych ward or prison or something after killing his father. And the sister brings him back to their old house, and because she believes the source of their troubles as kids, like their parents went crazy and tried to kill them, and that's why the son killed the dad. And the sister believes that it's all because of this haunted mirror, and she brings her brother back to the house to try to one, prove that it is the mirror, and then two, to destroy the mirror.
Yeah, they want to like exonerate their family name because the mom was like tortured and killed, and the dad went nuts, and then the son shot the dad, and
so they want to catch it on camera. There's like a big thing where she sets up all these cameras and then like explains like the process of how they're gonna like go ahead.
So did she did she become an antiques dealer just so that she could one day get her hands on this mirror?
Did she start dating one? Maybe. I mean, if she like, it's like she made
that
her.
She's not. No, she's like in the industry. Because like she was, the lady was
no,
like.
I know, but I'm saying she's also dating.
Deliver it.
Engaged.
I got you.
She's also,
and
engaged,
may or may not have murdered him.
No, I think she did.
Couldn't tell.
No, she did.
She did.
I think she did. I guess you don't see him as a ghost at the end, so you could make the argument. But the cell phone. Yeah. So I think so.
Wait, what? What about the cell phone?
That was how she was determining if stuff was real or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the cell phone call was fake.
Wait, after that, right? Okay. I got lost then, I guess.
No,
I like how
she has the hallucination of what was the thing she was trying to stab? Was it her dad?
I think she didn't see. She just turned around.
She reflexively did it.
It was a reflexive.
Okay.
She heard something behind her.
Yeah, and she jabs him in the neck, and then he dies and coughs, and then she gets a phone call, and saying, "Hey, whatever." But then doesn't that phone call turn into something creepy? I don't know. It's been more than a morning since I've seen it, so maybe Nick.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
there's a couple of like phone conversations that are creepy.
Yeah,
right.
Seeing as I did watch it literally this morning, I guess it's the most fresh in my head because like it's established that she uses the cell phone to verify if things are real or not. Because like basically the whole she has the house, so it's like their childhood home that they have set up. She is basically set up to be bugged for video and sound to prove. It's basically I was like, oh, this is like Phasmophobia. Where's the EMF reader?
That was
that too.
Yeah, so like basically she's trying to prove that this thing is haunted and is what caused her family's destruction. But there's like a scene where she sees because it's sort of a callback because the movie the narrative of the movie, it's like you see what happened when they were children and you see what's currently happening, and they sort of are weaved together to create like the entire narrative. I'm speaking to the podcast audience now. But it's like there's like the scene where her mom is like chained up and there's like the broken plate everywhere and there's the shards. She goes downstairs and she sees those same shards on the ground. She pulls out her phone and looks at the camera, and on the camera you don't see anything. You see just the floor. So she's like, okay, this isn't real. And so when she turns around and stabs Mike, her fiance, she's like, because like her brother Tim is there. She's like, that's not real. That's not real. And then she pulls out her phone, and like on the phone screen, you can see
that's right. Yeah,
Mike laying there dead. So she's like, oh shit, that actually was real. I did kill him.
But then she gets a phone call from him.
That's the ghost messing with her.
Yeah,
That's what. See, okay, so that was my question.
that was her spirit box.
That's your spirit
Going
box.
back
yeah.
to Phas before.
Yeah. But the other thing with the phone is that like it gets really trippy because she looks down and she sees like the glass, or I think she thinks it's a plate or something on the ground, and then she like uses her phone and she's like, this isn't real, and she uses the phone and she looks and there's nothing on the ground through the phone. But then like a
Right.
moment later she stabs her boyfriend with the
Okay.
plate or
yeah.
thing.
Thing that doesn't
That's how it
exist. Yeah.
establishes that.
Yeah, so it gets
I thought
kind
it
of
was from the
confusing.
potted plant.
It is from the potted plant, but like when she looks through her
Oh,
phone,
from the potted
it's not on the
plant.
ground, but
That
then
was
she uses it.
I think they were two separate things. I think the stuff that was on the ground was supposed to be the plate of like food or whatever that
Right.
was like up in her mom's room when she was a kid.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just it's
Yeah.
very. I mean, leave it to Dagan to pick a movie where you have no fucking clue what's happening, what's real or what's fake. Like that's his like
Well, that
wheelhouse,
Oh, yeah.
I guess.
because
didn't even
Kelly
think of
just
that.
said that in the chat. She's like, but the thing could have been fucking with the phone camera.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if that's the case, that's like the big thing with horror movies is what are the rules? Follow the rules. And if you try to
Especially
break
with this one.
and if you try to break the rules, you're not helping
Yeah.
your movie's case by making
Yeah.
like the internal logic falter.
See, and that's
Which
that's
is why
the
I think
thing.
it wasn't
with-
fucking. Personally, I don't think
I don't either.
it was. Yeah.
But see, the other thing about the internal logic is like she, like one thing that this mirror definitely has the power to do is
Mhm.
Are you making fun of me? I was adjusting in my chair.
I
And
just-
one thing that this movie. Sorry, I'm just stuck on TJ making fun of me. I'm just so offended by it.
It looked like you were just
You're
getting
just-
like you were leaning
just
in to get
show-
really intense about your point.
Yeah.
No,
You were
yeah,
like,
that's what
okay, think
I
about
was
this
doing
though,
there.
guys.
think if you just use facts and logic. Okay. So anyway, the phone.
Yeah.
This mirror has the ability to control phone calls within a certain radius.
Okay.
Also, one of the things that she's doing to like maintain her sanity or make sure that or stay grounded in reality is her fiance calls her every hour on the hour on a fucking cell phone. So like what's the point if the mirror can control that?
She does
You know?
mention that. She does like call attention to that. Like the second or third time he calls, she's like she hangs up and she's like, "Oh, there's a 50-50 chance that was him."
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 50.
Yeah, that was actually right after she murdered him, right?
No.
No,
So I
no,
think-
it was before.
No.
It
This
was
was
before.
earlier on.
It was
Before
before?
it starts really
Yeah.
descending into.
I think the idea is that she has multiple things. There are multiple
Exactly.
redundancies. It's not like
Yeah.
this is going to be the one thing that will make sure I'm
Right.
grounded in reality. She's got the
Right.
plants. She's got dog, her seeing
The
eye
alarm.
bitch.
Nice.
Yeah. And then the anchor, the cameras, the plants. She has all of these like sort of redundancies. And, like the food, the water. Basically, she's trying to
Yeah.
like think of all the different ways that this thing can like mess with you, and which is funny because she's so over prepared, and then like
It all falls apart.
it all
Yeah.
falls apart immediately.
Yeah.
I think it's like you
Sure,
don't. She doesn't. She kind of underestimates how.
Yeah, because when she
much it
dealt
can
with it for the
fuck
first
with her,
time,
whatever.
she was 10. She's a
Yeah.
child.
True.
But that was
I
more
mean-
like they got lucky, I think, as kids.
Yeah.
And now she's
Yeah.
like, well, now I'm prepared. But then she's like overconfident because when they go
Exactly.
into it, she's very like, she's kind of like
She's
Kincaid
so
in
cocky.
Nightmare on Elm Street 3. She's like, all right, bitch, let's do this. She's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
she's so ready. And then
When she was doing her like explanation of her like exposition
Yeah.
of like what's going on or whatever, it reminded me of that scene in Now You See Me, when the magicians are like, you haven't seen Now You See Me?
I've seen
wait,
clips
maybe
and
I know who's
I think
in
I
it.
might have seen it like with my family
Jesse
years ago.
Eisenberg.
It's been a long time.
Okay, well, they're all like explaining how they robbed the
yeah,
dude
they're
or whatever.
magicians
They're just
and
saying that,
also
like
yeah.
there's first there is a camera. The camera does this and this, and that way I will know this. And also there is a timer that will tell me to drink water, and then
Yeah.
there's another
Yeah.
timer that will tell me
Mhm.
to eat this apple and bite into it. And apparently it's a fucking light bulb that freaked that I knew it. I knew it was gonna happen with the light bulb thing. and then it happened, and then the teeth and the blood and the
Like,
I
pulls the
hated it.
huge
And
shard
then
out.
yes, and then it turns out that it actually was the apple, which is almost even worse because it's
Yeah.
like she just went through all of that, and it was TJ and I watched this movie together.
Yeah.
And he
It's the
saw how
fingernail
worked up
stuff
I
for
got.
me. I can't do
Yeah,
fingernail
fingernail
I
stuff.
said
stuff.
that too. I said that to him.
Fingernails and teeth.
Yeah.
Stuff. Oh
Teeth,
my god!
fingernails,
Wasn't
and
there a
big
part where
deal.
he's trying to it splits open or something like that?
Yeah,
uses
with
like
the
a stapler remover.
remover.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You do that. Oh,
And then he just wraps
I
them
was
up
trying
with
to take the
band-aids
Band-Aid
and
off.
Yeah.
goes back to
I
his.
just think
so
it's
good.
funny that like the ghost was just whispering like, "It doesn't hurt." He's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Uh,
The
really
thing, all of this stuff, like the mirror can clearly there's even parts where they think they're in locations that they're not. They're actually standing right in front of the mirror, but they think they're outside or something. So
yeah.
going back to the phone thing, they could have been seeing things through the phone. That doesn't prove anything to me. Like as soon as they stepped into that room with all these fail safes, there could have been 0 fail safes in the room. Like it could have just
True.
completely just
Yeah, I think
So-
the only way that you can know that like it ultimately like some of those fail safes did work, which I think would hopefully exonerate Timbo in the end.
Timbo, hell yeah.
Timbo, because like they're like, oh yeah, and this is how we did it, and they pull up the security footage of him pressing the thing and letting the thing swing down and kill his sister instead of bust the mirror. I would assume that everything else is like recorded as well, so hopefully like, I mean, I know it's like supernatural, but you'd think that like they'd be able to kind of piece together like
No, they'll send him
Maybe.
straight back to the loony bin.
Like how
Well,
can
yeah.
it like the dog disappearing or whatever? How can it hide that? But there was
Okay,
the one
let's talk
part
about
where
the
it
dog.
shows them
Let-
like their first. Just sorry, I want to say, like
Okay.
during their first like kind of argument they have, and then they like
Uh-huh.
go back in and they look
That
at the
was so cool.
cameras, and then they realize that like they come back in the room and like the two cameras are facing each other, and they're like, "Aha, we caught it! It moved the cameras." But then they watch the footage, and they actually were the ones that moved
Yeah.
the cameras. So
Yeah.
that's how much
That
it
was
can fuck with them.
awesome.
So who knows? Even the dog, you could watch the footage back and maybe it shows
just
one
let
of
the dog-
them taking the dog away
Yeah.
or something like that. I don't know.
Totally.
they let
no.
the dog
What do you
outside.
mean?
Huh?
What do you mean
No,
the
didn't
dog?
the dog got et up by the little, what was it
I
in this
could have
one?
swore they let the dog out.
No, the brother-
he
the-
opened-
They thought they let it out, but then when they're doing what TJ said, where they watch back the footage, they actually moved the dog crate in front of the mirror.
And the
Yeah.
dog got slurped up by
I
the
thought that was after because it's like during that argument where he's like,
No.
"Oh, see, and look at this, and it's dog," and he lifts the thing
Yeah.
off, and it's right in front of the mirror, and then he lets the dog out after that.
Well,
Oh.
I'll just say I also watched the short film Oculus, and the guy does the same thing, and it's a lot more obvious that the mirror eats the dog. So, I mean
Oh.
that's the vibe that I got from the movie too.
Yeah, me too.
And I
Oh,
watched
no,
the movie
I-
first. I'll say I watched the movie before the short film.
No, the vibe I got
Well,
was
you're
that
biased.
she put the dog in the cage in front of the mirror and was basically just like waiting for the dog to disappear. And then
Yeah,
like, as they're
and
having
then
Yeah.
it did.
as they're having the argument, the brother says, "This is bullshit. Look, the dog is still here." Opens up the cage and opens up the back door and lets the dog out.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah,
but
so
that could be a reversal
TJ and I
of the-
argue that is they hallucinated doing
Yes,
that.
it's like a
Actually, this
reversal
is
of the
when
camera
they
thing.
were moving the cameras around. That's the same argument. Like the
they
hallucination
thought
begins
that they were-
there.
Yeah, they thought they were letting the dogs out or letting the dog
Yeah.
out,
Who let
But-
the dogs out?
but it was Demir. Demir ate it.
But then there would be video evidence that the dog would have disappeared.
Or
You
or
know?
or the video evidence shows them letting it out. I don't know. Maybe it would have helped if they did show the camera, like what the camera showed too. Maybe.
With the dog.
I
Yeah,
don't
because
know.
I am split on what happened to the dog. I'm not 100% sure.
This is turning
Same.
into one of those movies where, like, on the surface, I actually really enjoyed it and quite liked it. And then the more you think about it and get into the nitty gritty, the less I like it because it's a lot like Us. don't know if you saw Us, the Jordan
Yeah,
Peele movie.
I think that.
I really enjoyed Us, and then it was like, if you think about it too hard, there's a certain point where if you think about it too hard, it's like, oh, it all just kind of falls apart. At least for me, for this movie, it's like, okay, well then everything that they did was completely inconsequential and bullshit. So who cares?
Yeah.
And it's just like the more you overanalyze and try to get into the weeds about like little tiny details about like the rules of what the thing can do and can't do, like the less it makes me like almost enjoy it less. Weirdly enough,
I think this is one where on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs, but he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. That's mom's spaghetti. That's right.
Yeah.
Yourself. That's all I thought of after you said on the surface.
This one is, I mean, it is, I can definitely see like Flanagan's like style in it. Like the mom wearing the
fingerprint.
It seems like all his
like the
like his stuff on Netflix, the nightgown stuff, the mom, like kind of stuff like with parents being crazy. It's always like family.
It's very Hill Housey, especially like
very Hill Housey. Yeah.
Is Mike, good old Mike Falananagan again? Is he like? Is his relationship with his mom okay? You know.
I don't know.
Like every fucking thing, mom goes crazy and tries to kill the children. That's just like the trope.
Well, at least in this, it was the mom and the dad. They both
it's kind of always the mom.
They did it together.
Yeah,
it seems like it's always the mom, and then the dad. Like something happens with the dad, but
well, it was like the dad was going.
The dad was going crazy
first. Yeah, the dad.
He was going crazy first, but the mom's always the one who's like becomes the worst, or
hysterical.
I mean, it was probably because he fucking locked her up in a room and like chained her to the bed or whatever. I mean, that probably.
Well, she tried to
kill. This was after.
I understand that, but like, and I mean, of course, influenced by the mirror, but like
you're right.
Treated her like an animal. He didn't like.
Yeah.
Again, I'm just
definitely not an
appropriate. But like,
the dad was definitely going crazy first because he was like, "Oh, I'm going out. I have a golf session today," and only somebody who's going fucking completely insane would call it a golf session. Like, that's not what you say.
Me and my human friend are having a human golf session.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make any sense. Also, the course that he says he plays is the name of a golf course that's like a mile away from me.
Oh, really?
Arrowhead or whatever.
Arrowhead. Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, but that's the mirror. Instead of him leaving the house, it's just the security camera footage. He's just standing in front of the mirror beating off while he's thinking that he's golfing.
Yeah.
The lady in the office is just his left hand.
I also thought that maybe, and this might be informed by like the Conjuring movies, but I for some reason, like every time I saw the dad, I was just like, "Oh, you're dime store Ron Livingston."
Speaking of Scanner Darkly, this is Cochran, who's in Scanner Darkly.
I did look that up, and I saw that he was in that. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm reading the book.
You know, he reminded me of is his name Teb from Galaxy Quest? He's like the second most main Thermian after Mathazar.
Oh, okay.
He's like, I don't know. If I guess if you don't recognize he's the one who's like, he's the end it exploded. That one.
Oh, okay.
That's the one that he reminds me of.
Yes. Okay.
To answer Kelly's question, did they see / experience their future selves as children? I think as adults, I think they saw flashbacks to their past, but I don't think it was like they were seeing their own future.
Yeah,
that'd be far too heady. That would be like, I think you're throwing way too much shit at the wall if that's like a part of the movie.
Yeah, I think
that's interesting though. If it's all like a flash forward, and because at a certain point it starts to become like it becomes like it's happening like at the same time almost, like they're running from like
that's getting into some like
the past
and shit.
Yeah, they're running from the past, mom and dad, and then their older selves are just like running through an empty house. So
I can
see where
experiences were very similar.
Yeah,
I
I
did.
think
I
that's
I did
intentional.
wonder that. I did wonder that during the movie because there are some shots where the kids almost like make eye contact with the future selves, with like the present selves, I guess,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like they're looking for guidance, and you know maybe I feel like, but I agree with Nick that that's probably a little too much.
I
I mean,
yeah,
who
no,
this
knows for
mirror is
this movie
already
though?
like this movie's already doing so much. Like there's like the
Yeah,
haunted mirror, okay, not haunted, demon mirror, I guess. It
yeah.
can it can influence your mind. It can convince you to do things. It eats plants and dogs. It 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 makes people murder each other. It controls cell phones and electricity, but not cameras. And it's like the like if it also controls time, I feel like that's a little much for one mirror,
Yeah, no,
you know?
I definitely think the climax is like anytime you see them as kids there, that's them as adults, but they're seeing themselves as kids or whatever. And then like any
Mhm.
of that, like the
yeah,
overlap or whatever is like it's it's just them in the present at the end, regardless of like when you see them. And but I
Yeah.
think that like looping that in with them seeing the parents and then just seeing like the whatever more generic ghosts or whatever, it's kind of like showing that it's repeating itself. That it's like a cyclical type. They're just where they
yeah,
were when they were kids, and
yeah.
I don't know.
They were just as prepared, apparently.
Yeah, just about.
Please.
I will say too, and like I don't. It's kind of hard to tell. Like with the short film, it's kind of interesting because it's in the short film, it's just one person. Um, it's like he's in the room with the mirror the entire time, and there's a couple little rule things that he changed. Like in the short film, he always keeps the mirror covered with a drape. Like you can't even look at it, I guess, in the original one. Um, Although it of course ends up getting uncovered a few times. Um, but it's really interesting in that because just like with the one person in the one room and kind of the way that it's scripted, like by the end of it, he's like doing like maniacal laughing, like ah, I got you, ah, and he's like, it gives off the vibe that like in at least in the short film, and I wonder if maybe they're kind of going for it with this, but it's a little harder to believe because there's more than one person. Um, but the short film definitely has made me think like, oh, this guy could just be crazy. Like maybe this is all in his head, like completely. This is just a normal mirror, and he went through a traumatic experience because like his dad murdered his mom when he was a kid, and he's making up this psychosis, blaming it on this other thing. Um, and I don't know. I don't know if he decided to change that to make it real in the movie, or if you're still supposed to kind of think that. But it's different when there's more than one person because it's harder to believe that they'd have the exact same,
Well,
Yeah,
group delusions are real, but I don't
I
know how
know.
they work. So I
Yeah.
Yeah,
can't really
it
speak
definitely
to
that
that.
happens in
was what's
it definitely happens in Dream Warriors.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that. Yeah.
that was definitely like a fear that I had that it was gonna be like, and then at the
All a
very
dream.
end, it was all a dream. I feel like that shit is like
Yeah.
very, very played out, and I was like, please don't do that, please don't do that.
Yeah.
That's definitely not a Flanagan like technique.
That's true.
He definitely has like endings that are not it was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. But they're not necessarily they don't always land, I guess. Like Bly Manor doesn't really.
Sure.
See, I think
great.
for this movie, and maybe it's because I did watch it so recently and like it's so fresh in my head. I think what I appreciated about it most was I felt like the pacing was really good. Like it
Mhm.
was like a very, very slow ramp up to like
Mhm.
crazy shit happening. And honestly,
Yeah.
show don't tell or tell don't show. Whatever. Like cuz like
Whatever
once
works.
you actually see like Marisol or like the woman in the mirror,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
it's like okay, it's like she's
Mhm.
making a creepy face, ooh, but like I feel like every time I saw them with like the mirrored out eyes, I was like that's horror movie 101. Creepy face with funny, eyes. But like when you don't really see the woman, or like you hardly see her, I thought that was one that was like the most effective. The less you saw, the better. Like the more, and I guess it messes with your head a little bit more too, like if it's real or not. But yeah, I think the pacing was really, really good, and also the fact that it's like, I don't want to say that I love happy endings, or I love like not getting a happy ending, but I thought like not getting like and then they overcame the thing and they became stronger people together.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
At the last second.
Me and Moose talked about this after watching it, that like it's fucking dark. That's a dark ending. Like the kid just goes back immediately after getting out of jail or whatever. He goes back and his sister's dead now. His whole family's dead. Like it's a pretty dark ending, but at the same time we both were like, yeah, but it would have been kind of lame if they just win, Yeah. And that's it. Ooh, they did it. So it does feel like that's the way it had to end, even though it is a bummer.
It's
kind of.
It's like and also I think it had to happen because like it's like Star Wars, it rhymes, or however the fuck the George Lucas quote goes, and because like at the beginning of chronologically of the story, Timbo kills his dad, and at the end of the story, he kills his sister. It rhymes.
Yeah.
You could almost make an argument that the dad, he basically like in his one moment of lucidity, like has the son. He like pulls the trigger for him, but I mean that's nitty gritty details.
Oh yeah.
But also like, if he were lucid in that moment, is that the choice he would have made?
I mean, maybe.
I think in his lucidity he realized he was too far gone, and also
how much power it had.
He just killed his wife, so he's like, well, there's not really a situation out of this that's positive for me.
Yeah. That's exactly how I read it. That he was like making the ultimate sacrifice because
he told them run. He's like,
totally
run.
What I thought.
And then he told the son run, and then
and then he damaged the mirror with his dead shoulder.
I don't know if he meant to damage the mirror, but like he grabbed the gun in the son's hand, because the son kind of pulled it down a little bit, and then the dad like grabbed it, lifted it up closer to him. Because like he's like a 10-year-old, and it's like a goddamn like Magnum revolver or whatever. So like the kid wouldn't have had enough. The kid probably didn't have enough strength to like pull the trigger. So the dad, in like his one moment, because the same thing happened with the mom, where like she was choking out the daughter. And then she like stopped and like looked up and like had that moment because she said the daughter's name, and then the dad shot her. And then the same thing happened with the dad, where like he's about to like kill the son, and then like he has like this.
No, moment. he was strangling Kaylee again. She got strangled by both of her parents.
Yeah, she did.
But yeah, no, the dad. I think the dad basically like pulled the trigger for the son. And I don't think he was intentionally trying to crack the mirror. I think that was like,
was he trying to like buy time for them to run? Because that's not how it happened, And also, I feel like because like normally when you're like in this sort of like movie scenario where you're like, flee, you fools, and then you fall, and then you fight the Balrog or whatever.
Right,
normally like you're there's like a benefit to your sacrifice, But
his
here the
kids
only
escaped.
He didn't kill his kids.
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying though. Did he have to die in order for his kids to escape?
I think
when he says run, he said run, and then he forced his kid through the trauma of murdering his dad.
Right. Okay. But then what would have happened? The kids would have ran away. They would have been.
He's an
adult
gotten away, man.
And then they would have gotten found by somebody. And then they would have been like, "Where's your dad?" And they would be like, "No, we can't go back there." But then they would talk to the dad again, like they did before. And the dad.
So you're saying that the dad figured that if he stayed alive, he would have He would have gone back to going
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, he
And
had his
he
moment
would've-
of
Okay.
lucidity and was like realized what he was doing and like what
Yes.
the
And
situation
That
was.
is exactly what I
and
think
said,
would have happened.
I think he's like, I'm giving you an opportunity to escape while you can, so I'm going to basically like kill
To
myself.
escape me.
Yeah,
escape me.
I
Yes.
think he
because
also
the
time
influence,
recognized that
the influence of the mirror was far too strong on him that I don't think he was
Got
going to
it.
stay
Okay.
lucid for long.
and I
That
think
that
he
wasn't
also
that wasn't obvious to me. Y'all were talking to me as if I understood that, but I did not.
he also recognized that they weren't possessed like he was.
Yeah.
he
Like they
was-
weren't.
Well, yeah,
they weren't
because-
going crazy.
because he was the target.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
know.
Or maybe there's
Okay.
something because it was only adults. Maybe there's something like it only goes after adults or something. I don't know. Maybe or that was just a guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
happened
could be
to
like
have not gone after
whoever
it.
like resonates with it because it was like in his office because yeah, it's sort of established that there's a radius of its effect,
Right.
And so if
Well,
he
yeah,
has
that's
it in
true.
his office, like
Yeah.
he's around it near constantly. So that's
Mhm.
how it like basically affects his brain faster than
It also
everyone
got
else.
to mom. It also got to mom.
Well, the radius expands.
Yeah, it's
The-
just
the
saying that
stro-
Oh,
it would
as,
it's
it,
like
as
him.
it eats dogs and plants and shit. Its
Yeah,
radius is
because
powered.
in like present timeline with the daughter and this with adult Kaylee, you can see that one of the plants is like dying, and then there's another plant outside that's not
Yeah.
dying. She's like, oh, okay, so its radius is about 30
Mhm.
feet, but like
Yeah.
as it grows
Yeah.
stronger and consumes and makes you
It
go
gets-
crazy, its sphere of influence can reach
It
outside.
feeds off of and it
Did
grows.
you? I don't know if you guys saw what Kelly said. Him falling and like damaging the mirror gives a clue on possibly how to destroy the mirror,
Oh, if
There's-
that's
like through self-sacrifice. Because like every other time they try to like hit it, do any kind of damage to it, it defends itself somehow.
yeah,
But like
You got-
Like,
you
why
gotta
wouldn't
get
it
like
just
a
have him
bolt action
fall to the side?
sniper from like a mile away?
oh
and,
yeah,
like-
there
Yeah.
you go. That's what you do, yeah. Which I thought was really neat how they kept like the first time the brother's like, well, why don't we just smash it? And then he like takes the chair and then he like starts yelling at her
Yeah.
and then she's like, well, why didn't you break? And you're like, oh shit, yeah,
Why did you
know,
put
like,
the chair down?
yeah, like I thought that was a really cool little
Yeah.
like and then like
Yeah.
I think as kids they go in and they like run at it with like golf clubs.
Yeah.
then
they're
When they're
smashing it.
smashing it.
They're smashing the wall or whatever and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I like the ways that the movie kept having reasons or like, why they showing
was-
showing why they couldn't do it or
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because like, I don't know. I think the way using like the format of like the sister talking to the cameras as like an exposition dump was
Mhm.
usually I'm like, oh, okay, here's the exposition dump. But this one I feel
Yeah.
like was like pretty good and made sense. Or like she's trying to
Same.
document it, but
Same.
like I think it also did a pretty good job of like showing like in an effective way where like as an audience member you're like putting it together. Oh, okay, so these are like the rules. I thought it did a pretty good job of that too.
Yeah.
I totally agree. It did feel like exposition dump, but it felt like good exposition dump. Like it wasn't
I took a good
That whole-
exposition dump this morning.
that's like a good chunk of the movie, and actually that's like 20 minutes of the 30-minute short film is pretty much that. It's like the exact same thing. Like he's going through the history and like explaining like his setup and stuff. And I really thought that whole thing was really compelling, even though it's just talking. There's no like they're in like a lit room, it's not really like spooky,
Yeah.
but I really dug and like you said, the pacing
Like,
too. I thought the pacing was
Also, like her charisma when she was explaining it and her
Mhm.
confidence,
yeah.
like sort of gets you like, okay, yeah,
She
we can
did it
do
like
this. We can
like a
outsmart this thing.
YouTuber.
Yeah. yeah.
What's up, guys? Today we're talking haunted mirrors. Like
I
Yeah.
she's like doing her
she
makeup
kind of-
in the mirror. Like,
Not that she didn't get what she deserved, but like as she was just cocky the entire time, and I was just like, she's full on gonna get it. She's so gonna
By
get got.
yeah.
She's way too full of herself, way too cocky. She's definitely underestimating this.
They
thing.
should have shown like the monster ghost or whatever in the mirror, like as she's like talking, like her YouTuber style, like explaining it, and the guy at the mirror is just like, yeah, okay.
As always, I'm
Yeah.
Kaylee.
Yeah. The monster's just like, yeah, okay, sure, champ.
Yeah.
Welcome to prime time, bitch.
Yeah.
The one thing that did kind of bug me is like kind of going back to the Gillian Anderson thing. Her American accent kind of it feels really stilted to me in like everything she's done an American accent in. But like not enough to like ruin the character, but like I can definitely hear her accent trying to peek through.
See, I haven't heard her natural accent, so I didn't pick up on any of that.
She's Scottish, and she was in like I know her from Doctor Who. I watched Doctor Who.
She's also the chick from Avengers.
I was just gonna get to that. She plays Nebula in Guardians of the Galaxy / the Avengers movies.
Blue skin girl,
blue
bald hair. Yeah.
Oh.
And like she kind of has the same affectation.
Least favorite daughter.
Yeah. She kind of has the same affectation to her voice as Nebula, but it like works for Nebula because she's like weird and damaged in a way.
A robot.
So like I kind of just like heard that when she was talking in this movie. I heard like weird cyborg Nebula kind of.
I wonder if she can say purple burglar alarm.
Is that the thing that like
that Scottish people can't say?
Oh, yeah, it's like
Yeah, I saw a clip
like
of Lemmy trying
it.
to say it.
I was
and
gonna
he's like purple burglar alarm.
That's what I've seen too. Yeah, it was the Lemmy clip. Yeah.
That's like one of those things where it's like, who even like thought of that? Like that's a really random collection
The right
of
amount
words.
of like consonants.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched those fucking like I've watched a bunch of those language expert
dialect
breaks
coach?
down or dialect
Yeah.
coach like, breaks down
Yeah.
accents in movies. And the
yeah.
shit that he talks about, those guys can probably think of a million of those. They can probably think of like an impossible to say thing for every accent because the way that they understand language is like
It's like
30
Rock, and, like the
like
rural juror.
There's a Vine.
The 30 Rock bit, the rural juror.
Oh,
the rural
juror. Yeah.
I think there's a Vine where there are this group of guys who are like from Baltimore, and they're trying to say Aaron earned an iron urn, and it comes out as
They just sound like sea lions.
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So I didn't pick up on that. I thought I found her voice very soothing. Can we talk? Like, can we talk about?
It didn't ruin it. I could hear it.
Can we talk about how like Timbo and Kaylee like were fucking hot? Like,
okay,
like they were some attractive, crazy siblings. Like okay. I was watching the movie and I had the active thought like these are attractive people that are getting murdered by this crazy mirror. Did y'all? Is that not? Is that?
I mean, Morissette was kind of litty with it too. Honestly, she wasn't too. Other than I guess her mirror eyes.
Oh
yeah,
the mom.
The white the white eyes.
Morissette. There's like the scene where he like writes the name. Like
that's the
Shining Star.
Okay.
Oh, that's his wife. You're talking about.
Yeah,
Kate.
That's the director's wife, Kate Siegel. She's in like all of his stuff.
That's another thing. Okay.
There's a little trivia piece.
Right. So the mom's name is Marie. Is that short for Muddy Soul? No, because she saw the paper and it wasn't
the mirror.
That's when she started crying.
Marisol is the girl. She was like
that's what I thought.
She was the last one who died. She was the previous victim of the mirror.
Was she really? I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, you see her picture. I said that because like I only noticed that because I recognize that actress from all of his stuff. So when
I
she
didn't
shows
put
up,
that together. I remember you saying that, but I
like,
didn't put it together.
Yeah, when she holds up the picture when she's running through all the victims. I was
thought
like,
that
oh hey,
looked
that's.
like her.
I was like,
Yeah,
that's
I did
Kate
too.
Siegel. I was like, that's Mike's wife. And then
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I guess that's her cameo. She's just in a picture in this one. But then she shows up later, and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah.
So now
this
whoever
was
gets the
thing.
next mirror is gonna see Kaylee as
Right.
the
Well,
demon.
yeah, I
see,
guess
that
so.
was my thought when they
I would
they showed that she was
introduce
the
that.
last
Only
one to
kills
have
hot
the
people.
mirror. When she was the last one to have the mirror, and then she was haunting, I was like, oh shit, does that mean that Kate and Timbo's parents are the ones that are haunting them right now? But then it was kind of shown that it was like all of them, all of the past ghosts came out for them.
Together.
It's
But
like
I thought
the,
it
it's
was
like
just
the ghost. It's like the ghost has a pool of bodies to like manifest its form in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but at first it kind of is shown almost like it's almost like the ring, like you have to pass it on, like to get out.
Yeah.
So everybody.
It's like the short film y'all showed me the other day with the like box with like the void inside of it,
Oh,
and like, you have to look at it so it doesn't move.
Have you seen that,
Yeah.
Travis? The other side of the box.
I posted it in the.
I didn't watch it, but it's
Should watch
similar to a game mechanic in a video game that I played.
Or it's similar to a mechanic in the episode Blink from Doctor Who.
The Weeping
Angels.
Yeah.
Now, since we're on the subject of the siblings, are
I
we
gotta
going to
go.
about how Timbo is Will Turner's son in Pirates of the Caribbean?
Is he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought of that as like I gotta mention that at some point.
I gotta go take a good exposition dump. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, you go ahead. If you're gonna.
No, I was trying to say it earlier, but there's you guys were talking about the rules and how it sets up the rules, like it establishes the rules basically by just telling them directly to you. But then it almost feels like it sets up the rules so strictly and so precisely so that it can subvert them so hard, like basically 10 minutes later. It's like that is what it is. Those are the actual rules.
Yeah.
Maybe I would have taken more, not offense, but like felt more like, what's the and again I do like The Last Jedi, but people say like, oh, it subverted your expectations, like it's there's so many twists.
What a twist.
And like maybe I would have taken more offense to that if I didn't also read it as like, it's doing that to fuck with the characters. Like the only, she's the one that sets up the rules. It's
like her understanding of the rules. Even it's not
like
even
educated guess from all this research that she's done.
Yeah.
So, I think you can take all of her rules as like a baseline, but the fact that some stuff might change I'm more okay with it. And like those little.
No, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that that's like it. Like that's part of the like appeal of it, I guess, is that like they set up the rules so hard so they can that's the plot. It's like a huge plot mechanism that like they set up the rules so hard so that like they can basically dump on them so hard.
Yeah. While you were in the mental facility, I studied the blade.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah.
I guess so. It's almost like there's like two sets of rules where like it's her understanding of them and then the rules that you actually see. And maybe that's where like the disconnect was earlier when I was like, oh, I don't know if it follows the rules. Well, there's two sets basically, and I think when the movie, like the actual ghost rules contradict, I think that's where I kind of lose it. But I guess it only happens really a few times where I was like, I don't know, like her killing her fiance, and then like using like the phone screen will show you the truth, but the phone audio can still mess with you. That's kind of they're like the same device.
That's kind of what I was saying. Like, I still think that it could mess with the phone. Like, I think it could mess with, like,
okay,
and
she's desperately clinging on to like something to like
Yeah.
be like, okay, no,
Yeah.
I can know that this is
the
not
truth.
influencing me, or it is. Yeah.
Yeah, because she's laid out all the rules so precisely that like she's so certain of everything that she knows, and then like the mirror itself like turns all of that on its head.
But she doesn't know what she doesn't know. That's the,
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like she thinks that she has it all figured out, but like this thing is just like maybe just scratching the surface of like what it can do.
Yeah, totally.
And she's like I mean, another thing that like kind of a rule, I don't know if it's rule breaking, but she the whole thing with where they're like having the argument, and then they go back and they look at the cameras are like turned facing each other, and they're like, oh, watch this video, like what was the real thing? Like
The
you
real
know
thing,
what I mean?
The real thing was them adjusting the cameras themselves.
Okay, but yeah, that's what I'm saying is like even like rules wise, it breaks kind of a rule of like film that like you're not showing what actually happened, if that makes sense. Like
Necessarily,
there's like
unreliable
layers of
and all that.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
I
it's
think
not like. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I think it's more the movie changes what it shows, but I think
Yeah.
as far as like the rules in the movie, they mostly stick to it. But it's just sometimes the movie is showing you what's actually happening. Sometimes the movie is showing you what they're seeing. So what the audience experiences might change.
You're trying to suss out. You are also trying to suss out what's real, what's fake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly.
The movie asks, "Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy?"
Fantasy.
It also asks, "What is truth?" Which is like pretty heavy topic for a horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not really rules. That's not the best word for it. I can't really think of like what I'm just like norms or.
Well, okay, yeah.
Precedent.
This kind of goes into what I was gonna say about the phone audio versus video, like not being able to mess with one or whatever. And I literally just came up with this when you said it, so don't take this as like a research thing. But I was thinking like what like a general ghost rule, just like general ghost lore, I guess. And a good easy reference is Phasmophobia. You use like the spirit box, which it's different. It's like they can mess with like radio waves and shit like that. But like video is different than it's like it is a different sort of frequency or something like that. So think of it, you use the spirit box to talk to them, but you use the video cameras in Phasmophobia to catch physical evidence of them.
That is
with
true.
The ghost orbs or whatever. So I don't know that and that's kind of like a general ghost huntery logic. So I think there's at least something there. I like I said, I just thought of that, but
okay,
maybe.
Yeah. I mean that does make sense. So she definitely murked her fiance.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah.
Because you do see him at one point, and he's got the mirror eyes. So I guess if you see
I think that's
someone,
another. Yeah.
Is that like okay? Well, yeah. Here's another victim.
It claimed them. When it claims them, they get the cool eyes.
My note was that he looked like beautiful Squidward. I was like, I said like Deadite Michael looks like beautiful Squidward. Like whatever makeup they did just like enhanced his jaw and like his kind of, like, butt chin.
The clever, yeah.
Which that whole scene was just like, why would he like do that? Like announce himself that way by like, hey, the house is dark and like there's all of this shit, and he just like sneaks up behind her, doesn't even make himself known, like, hey, is anybody home? He's just like, and then she turns and just, I mean, obviously he wasn't expecting to get killed. Also, a stab wound on like the side of your throat, enough to, I don't know.
Sometimes
maybe I'm built different, but I don't think that would kill me.
I could survive stabbed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a major artery right there.
I was gonna. It's
true.
One of those things where you could, but yeah, if it hits that, it's just like you can die from getting shot in the leg if it hits your artery.
Right.
But
right.
if it doesn't, then you're okay. Other than a bullet in the leg.
Shot in the leg.
I call back to Nightmare on Elm Street. I thought it was pretty lame how quickly Nancy died from that. She got like stabbed in the gut at the end.
Oh yeah.
And I get that can also, but like when it got to the funeral scene, I was like half expecting her to like walk in, and it was just.
So was I. They were like burying maybe the other two kids, like the wizard kid who like got his powers and then immediately got killed.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, back to this movie now.
Yeah.
Oh, did you guys notice? I thought it was just a Michigan company, but I guess it's Michigan based, but it has since expanded. But there was a 2 Men in a Truck was the moving company that moved the mirror in. You guys know that? It's from Lansing.
Oh, that's like a Michigan specific company. Oh,
yeah, but I guess they have since branched out, but originally it was like a West Michigan thing.
Well,
I had to look it up because
like,
I thought that it was maybe set in Michigan. But no.
I mean, it's canon that this guy golfs in Travis's
at Arrowhead.
Oh shit!
That's right.
Maybe it's like they shot it somewhere else, but for some reason they set it in Lowell, Michigan.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They're like, they have some nice houses there. That's the only place. Sorry.
I'll beep it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That would be wild. Isn't he from? Am I thinking of somebody else? Isn't he from like Traverse City or something?
I meant to look that up because I had the same thought. And if that's the case, then maybe he did kind of.
No, he's from Massachusetts.
Oh, he's from Salem. Ooh.
Or maybe it's his wife.
Wait, his name is Flanagan. What are you guys talking about?
It's a joke.
No, it's Falananagan.
Oh, okay. All right.
I thought she's from Maryland.
Did you actually believe me?
I don't know. I added an A to Rattata's name for years. So.
Yeah. Ratatata.
It's the Dimitri Martin joke about how to spell banana. Banana. Damn
it. Banana.
Have you ever been to Bahama Bucks?
Bahama Bucks?
Yeah, it's a snow cone place, and if you get ice cream inside your snow cone, that's called the Bahama Rama Mama. Okay.
Oh.
So I'll order I don't actually order this, but I used to tease my ex about this, about ordering the Bahamara Mama instead.
Okay.
That's the white person version of purple burglar alarm.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Bahamara
So, kind of to compare this, not compare, but compare. Like this was kind of the polar opposite of Friday the 13th, or not Friday the 13th, Dream Warriors, where like Dream Warriors is just like a fun movie. Like this movie was like pretty creepy.
Yeah.
I know like Blair Witch Project is like maybe the most scared I've been in a movie. I didn't really get like scared in this movie, but it gave me the goosebumps like multiple times. I don't know if I've ever had the goosebumps from a movie, and like not even Goosebumps the movie, but like this one gave me like genuine goosebumps. I was like, this is a really weird sensation watching a movie.
That's why I've thought since, I don't know, like the second or third thing of his that I saw, but I think that like Mike Flanagan's one of the best current horror directors, because even when I'm not over the moon about something, like he's had some that I think are okay, he's really good at the scary stuff. He's really good at like spooky imagery and really good at building tension, like the kind of horror that I like. I think he is very good at doing that. And I agree that I thought there was some really like.
Was there even like a jump scare in this?
There was. I feel like there was a couple like like with
I
the noise.
jump.
And,
Like when she kills her boyfriend, kind of.
Yeah.
She like
Kind of
turns
there.
around
But
and
even
he's
then,
right there.
it's not like a
No, 'cause
traditional
No.
like
That's not what
jump scare
happened.
that you'd expect.
She thought that it was her mom that she was stabbing in the neck.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm just saying that that part was like kind of like sudden and jarring.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Like-
There's
Not expecting it. Yeah.
there's even a part in the short film which looks like it was way less scary because it looks like the Man from Earth. Like it looks very low quality because this was
Oh.
before like people could make low budget short films and they look like actual movies. This is
With
when low
Snapchat
budget short
filters.
films, yeah. This is when low budget short films actually looked low budget and it looked like you were just shooting it on like a DV like home camera.
Yeah.
But even in that, where it's I think a lot of the scares are kind of hindered by the limitations. There was even a part in that where it's like the other thing is like the whole time the room is like white, like it's lit up, so you don't get like nothing playing in the shadows or anything like that. But there's this really cool part where like because he has the curtain like draped over the mirror the whole time in that one, and then you see like a figure start like moving under the sheet like towards him, and then like you never see it, but it's like there's something about the way that he just knows how to make stuff scary, at least for me.
Oh wait, I thought you were talking about
It was
the.
definitely scary.
Are you talking about the
Sorry.
short?
I was talking about the
He
short
was.
film, yeah.
Okay,
Does that
'cause
happen
he
in the
does.
movie too?
It's similar when she first like sees the mirror in like the warehouse area, and she like
Oh yeah,
she's
maybe that was
looking at it.
I knew he was gonna play with the mannequins, but it
That's
still
right.
it
Yeah.
still got
so
me.
cool.
And
I
there was
wonder if that was
still.
like a callback, like that was like
It
he did
might
back
be,
then
yeah.
for that.
What was creepy about that is that like, oh, that's a statue, but then the third one's just like gone. Like
It's kind of like the Apple thing, the Apple
Yeah.
light bulb
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
It's like
yeah, like the Apple light bulb thing.
yeah.
Exactly.
I just don't.
I think I audibly said it's not there. It wasn't there.
Yeah, you did it a few times. You were like, TJ, it's not there.
I have a very enthusiastic way of watching scary movies.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It's like a defense mechanism.
It is. It is.
I
had
done that before
to
too.
move to a different room so that
Oh
I could
yeah,
have my
that's
back
right.
against
Yeah, I
the
had to
wall.
pause it midway through.
Yeah. I had to like practice my karate just in
Yeah.
case someone came for me.
Practice your flips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
your dream
dream,
warrior
my dream,
flips.
Yeah.
my dream power.
Yeah. So one of the things that kind of, I guess it doesn't ruin it for me, but like the whole thing, like, okay, so like it seems like every random interval of time, this thing like kills people, right? Like the last one was Kate Siegel. Like that's the last person it killed. But then like what happens in between? Like why doesn't it affect anybody in like the auction house area? Why doesn't it affect any of the movers or anything? It only
I
seems
think
to like
go ahead and finish your thought. Sorry.
No, that was it. Like I just don't get why it doesn't like affect anybody else.
My read on that was that like they're not around it enough. Like it seems like
Okay.
in the case of like when it was in like the dad's office, he was like in close proximity for it for like prolonged periods of time, and so it had enough time to like fully like because it was like a slow process where like they're at the dinner table and like he's chewing on his fingernail, and then the next scene he uses the stapler remover, and then like the daughter actually sees a manifestation of it, and then it's just like and then it's like, well, the mom's like, I don't know where he's at. I know where he says he is, but I don't know where he's at. And it's like it seems like it slowly, so it's like for everyone else, like the police coming in and finding them, they're not really in that space long enough for like the ghosts to like fully
So
I have a different theory, but unless
A
if you want
film
to
theory.
respond to that.
I was just like I guess like where was it between the because nobody's been killed by it between like her parents to the kids, the parents to the kids, like nobody's been killed by it supposedly. Um, like, do they put it in like an Indiana Jones type,
I
like Ark of the Covenant, like storage, like way away from people? Like, what's the deal in the like
maybe it was
14 years between?
maybe it was put in they don't go into the specifics, but I I kind of took it as like it was one of the things that like a lot of the stuff in the house was probably
Like a
put
crime
into
scene?
storage or that, yeah. But I was saying like because neither of the kids were of age, so all of like their parents' belongings maybe got put into storage, and then once they became of age or whatever, it got put out on auction, and that's why she had to be there to like I don't know exactly how
But
that
then
Yeah.
works.
why, if it was her property, then why would she like, why would it even be at
Yeah,
an auction?
I'm not exactly sure. I'm really not sure. Anyways, the theory I wanted to get to about why the mirror wasn't affecting everyone, I think that the mirror is intelligent and
Yeah.
it knows if it starts sort of I think if it's more obvious, I guess,
It
that
observes.
it does things where it's just like a couple people at a time, so then it can kill them off and make it look like one thing. But if it starts causing these big scenes everywhere where it's like, oh, everyone starts dying,
Yeah.
and then maybe more people will be able to draw. I don't know. That's my
It's,
I
Yeah,
think
no, that makes sense.
I
Like,
think it's
like it's
doing
lying
it
in wait, kind of.
there's like a
exactly. Yeah.
scene where like they have like just 20 people with guns waiting to like shoot the mirror to destroy it, and then they all just turn and like shoot each. It's like
Well,
20
it's
people just dropping simultaneously because the mirror's like, no, 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 no.
it's kind of like in again going back to Nightmare on Elm Street in the first one, which they completely dropped this in all of the sequels. But in the first movie, even though Freddy is this like all powerful dream demon, in the first movie he only kills people in a way to make it look like the first girl that dies, her like boyfriend gets framed for it because he makes it look like he's the one that killed him. And then when that guy is in jail, he makes it look like he killed himself, like he committed suicide. So
They
until the end when he's trying to kill Nancy because he's like really desperate, he tries to frame like the murders as
they
not
kind
him.
of did that with Dream Warriors.
Kinda.
Patricia Arquette's
Yeah.
the when Patricia
Oh
Arquette,
yeah,
she's
right.
like holding
Okay.
the razor blade in the bathroom,
Yeah.
and the mom finds her holding the razor, and
Yeah.
that's how she gets committed because
Yeah.
they think that she's
And
suicidal.
Oh,
then
yeah,
the girl
that's
shoves her face through a television.
Yeah,
Well,
but
Like,
I'm just
that's
saying, like
realistic.
it
it
started
starts
that way.
to,
It
that's
starts
fair.
that way
Oh,
as a way to get them all in the same place.
and I think that's an excuse that you can use with that one where he was confident that nobody was going to listen to these kids, so he didn't really care how he killed him because nobody was going to listen to him.
Yeah,
But like I'll
Yeah.
say the second movie, people die and then shit's just not followed up on. They're just dead and then they're out of the movie and there's no
Yeah.
sort
Well, actually, I was talking to Kelly about like between episodes. I was talking to her about it, and like you were saying that, oh, he doesn't have any power unless I'm afraid of him, and like so like that's, I'm thinking like, oh well, that's why he does all this. This is back, obviously. We're just edit this out and put it on the last episode.
of
Nick.
yeah.
yeah.
But like he kind of feeds on the fear, not necessarily the like killing. So like that's why he torments them for years and years and
That's
gets them all to
that's
go
kind
to
of
a
how it
crazy
works in
house.
Oculus then too. Like the mirror like feeds
Yeah.
on their paranoia and
Yeah.
their
Their dogs and
neuroses.
the plants.
Yeah.
That kind of see. So like, there were a lot of things in this movie that didn't really work for me, and I think I was talking to TJ about this. It's hard. It's kind of hard to put into words like what I wanted, like what I wish would have
Oh
done.
yeah.
I feel like a lot of the stuff was kind of random, like with the dogs and the plants, and also like it controls some electronics, but not all of them. And um and uh but I think I just realized like what the biggest thing for me is about this mirror. is that it it could have been anything else. It could have been literally any other object. It could have been a painting, and it wouldn't have changed the story at all. It could have been a desk. It could have been a fucking teddy bear, and it wouldn't have changed the story at all.
Mhm.
Whereas like with like a haunted house, you have like different rooms, like there's a sort of like form follows function kind of thing. I feel like the haunted object, like the cursed object, it like it's like wasted potential that there's like a mirror here. There's a lot of symbolism with the mirror that you can play with. This whole idea of like another world, maybe like a mirror world where things
Reflection
are
of
fucked,
yourself.
like us, reflections. Yeah, like the only thing we got was like they were standing in front of it a couple times, but like we never got like this theme of like reflection. The powers of the mirror are just generic haunting powers. Also, it eats plants and dogs, and I feel like that's a big wasted opportunity to like make something distinctive. Why is it a mirror? You know? Otherwise, then otherwise, other than the fact like so that you can name the movie Oculus because it has to do with seeing. But like, you get what I'm saying?
I
Kinda.
suppose. I just don't
Kinda,
think it
but I'm-
bothers me as much.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
I kind of I
get
see what
it.
you're saying, but I also like I don't know, man. This is a tight 90. This is a tight 90. I was
Exactly, yeah.
super. There are there are questions that it's like okay, it's almost like make it into like a 10-part miniseries on Netflix where like they like spoon feed shit to you and like
Yeah. And
like
that's
over
see, that's
explain the lore and like I don't need any of that. I'm along for the ride.
I think that's TJ and I kind of talked about that too. Like you can only expect so much in 90 minutes, and like this guy does miniseries and he does them very well. Like I came in like
True.
Hill House worked so well for me.
I agree.
And at
Yeah.
the end of the movie, at the end of the series, you have this feeling like, whoa, awesome,
Mhm.
yeah. And I don't get that feeling at the end of this movie. Like, oh, it all comes together now.
I mean,
like a little bit, like with like that.
Well, I don't think you're supposed to get
sister.
closure from this.
yeah, you're not.
But-
It's
Yeah.
dread.
The daughter dies, the mirror remains, and like
Yeah.
it's just gonna get
could've
sent
done-
off.
That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay, so like,
I think he means
like,
more like
Hill House at the end. Oh fuck, Nellie dies. That sucks. You don't get that closure either. But you do get like, oh, the bent neck lady is Nellie in her moment of death, going backwards in time.
So fucking good.
yeah.
Like, right?
I guess I
so
don't need to
good.
watch The Haunting of Hill House now.
Oh, I thought
Oh,
you'd
shit.
seen it.
Oh yeah, I think I thought
No.
Well, there's
I mean, I'll still
I mean,
watch it. I don't. That's
also
not gonna
that's-
like ruin my
So
viewing
this
experience.
is
But
the,
also,
thing that's
like-
gonna give me anxiety. This is the
that's only
moment
like halfway through
that's
the show.
gonna
anyways.
give me
This is the moment.
anxiety for the
We're
rest
in
of
it.
the day now. Like that.
Um,
This is why I wish I had my brain power.
See, like if you really, well, not even if you really think about it. This, I mean, it kind of is the same story. Hill House and this is they're very similar. Like
For sure.
it's like some kind of in that it's the house basically is the bad guy or whatever, and then
Children
It's-
returning to their childhood home.
Yep.
That
Yeah.
it's just that one got
So-
more of like I guess a happier ending. I don't
Well,
know.
if
It's
it's-
not
yeah,
the
well-
same. This one is just like
Hill House
straight
has a really
like
good thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
kind of. I mean,
Hill House
bad shit happens. I
I would
guess.
say I don't know which one we're talking about. I think Hill House has a mostly positive ending.
Yeah, mostly positive.
Yeah.
yes. I'm just
Half
saying it
the
doesn't have
fucking
like
family is
No,
there.
no.
it's not a
Stop
good
saying
ending.
stuff, Bruce. Stop saying spoilers for the show. We can talk about it later.
It doesn't. I was kind of trying to be vague. I guess
I really don't care.
it's
I mean, you should it's very good.
it's good.
Yeah, it's not gonna like knowing that
Ruin
kind of
the
stuff.
thing for
It's
you.
not gonna ruin because the way that they do it and the acting and all of that kind of shit. Like it's not gonna matter. Like if I know what happens,
I would say more maybe the bent neck lady thing. There's some things where like the execution is, but there's some other things, maybe the ending that's not. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was just saying it's not like it's not a fairy tale ending, I guess.
I guess what I'm trying to say is like I'm not upset that it wasn't like a happy ending. I was actually very pleased with the ending. And like we discussed earlier, I think that's how it had to end. It was perfect in the way that it ended. But what I'm saying is like it didn't give me enough to chew on. And like cuz there's only cuz it's like you know, like you're chewing on something and then you swallow it, you know, like jizz.
That's usually what I do.
And
yeah.
And I feel like
chew on it.
I feel like I never got like I feel like I didn't get like a load in my mouth, you know? I got a little bit of free cum at the end. You know? Like with Hill House, I got like a solid several squirts of cum deep in my throat.
Hell House is like that's like bukkake pretty much.
Yeah. And so like I like you know Nick mentioned like it's not fleshed out like 10-part miniseries where they spoon feed everything to you. I'm like, okay, yeah. I think I do wish that this was a miniseries and they fleshed it out more. I think there needs to be more flesh in my throat. I think out.
I was trying to think of a way to
I think this is one of those things, like I was saying earlier, where I kind of circled back because it was like the more you over explain it, the less enjoyment, because you start to like pick apart the internal logic of everything. I've like after we've kind of discussed like her perception of what this thing can do versus what it can actually do, I've like circled back and I'm like, oh, okay, no, actually I do dig this.
Oh, was this while I was pooping?
Yeah, I think
it
we
was.
kind of like I had a reasoning for the video audio thingy too. There was a couple of things we touched on,
but I think in this case, because like, I mean, what else would you get other than like the mirror going to different houses and I guess utilizing different methods of getting them?
No, I think there's a lot more of this story that can be told. For example, like the relationship between the father and the kids. Like all we get is don't go in my office. And then also now I've gone crazy. You know? And so like when he says run and pulls the trigger, that doesn't hit as hard for me because I don't know anything about their father-son relationship, you know? And like I get like, okay, yeah, like the fact that like the whole like literally what happens in the scene with like him killing himself in front of his son, like yeah, that hits hard, but like it doesn't hit like just the fact that it happened. But like it doesn't hit as hard because I don't know because we didn't see anything beforehand of them interacting as a father and son. Likewise, Kaylee and her fiance, I wish I had more, you know? And like I get it. There's only 90 minutes to go around. I don't know if there's anything in particular that I would have cut, you know, to make room for this. If there's anything that I would have like changed, but I think
they would have made it a worse movie. I think they would have made it infinitely a worse movie.
I think I wanted a Haunting at Hill House miniseries out of this. I think I wanted.
Yeah, I
think this is a miniseries idea, not a 90-minute movie idea.
I do. I know what you're saying because this is that's exactly what I thought for like East of Eden. Is like I just needed a little bit more of the preamble, I guess.
Yeah, you're right.
We're back.
You got
we
me.
did it.
We did it. We got back there. But other than that, I'm kind of on the opposite. I don't know. I think it's horror specifically. I think horror is much more like affecting if it's just like kind of short stories. I love like short horror story, like Edgar Allan Poe type shit. Like that stuff is so much more interesting to me than like this long drawn out story for the most part. I mean, I did love Haunting of Hill House.
I don't want it to be long or drawn out. I just want a little bit more world building.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Yeah.
I mean, I think Hill House, like you think of it, if you're talking about the present day, it's pretty much like when they actually go there. So, you know, if they were doing what's happening in Oculus, that's only a very short. Hill House is able to be stretched out for so long because you get an episode on like every person in the family. In this,
Yeah.
it's just like
It's a
the two
snapshot.
kids, pretty much.
Yeah, they
and
could
you
have
get
done.
Had
They
like
could
a
have.
bunch of children. Then you
You get sort of a snapshot of things, and I guess you kind of just have to use a little bit of imagination to like, okay, the dad is a software engineer. He has a pretty nice job. He has a pretty normal life. He doesn't seem like overtly like shitty to the kids until like the mirror starts influencing
that
him.
it's strange of him to
Yeah,
the way that
like
he
you,
does.
the way that like the wife reacts and
Yeah.
the kids react, you know that this is not the way that he normally is, and like
Yeah.
his worst tendencies are like exacerbated by this mirror. So it's like, I don't know, if there was like a tender moment scene where the father was consoling the daughter over like a scrape on her knee, I don't think that would have changed anything for me. Like, I don't need to like actually see these moments to like care about the characters or like, oh,
You don't
this
need to know anything about the character, the father. You don't need to know anything about him except that he's gone crazy.
I just think it's informed by.
you have
He's-
to
he's a
use your
good dad.
imagination and
Yeah.
kind of fill in
guess.
some
Yeah.
of the spaces.
There is some. You do have to fill in the blanks.
I'm
but
watching a movie. I'm not reading a book. I'm not here to use my imagination to
Okay.
fill in basic character details. You know, I'm like I watch movies for the characters.
Again,
I think the characters are the are what make things happen and what make things interesting.
I think generally sure, but I mean, I think it
I don't
also
think horror is the right
depends on the
genre for
movie.
that then.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say,
Yeah,
and I would say this
maybe.
is a lot more like thoughtful than a lot of horror. Which I will say, like the first time I saw this, I only watched it because it was Mike Flanagan. But like when I remember when this came out, it looked like every other fucking horror movie that comes out with the young like new hot chick, and they're gonna put him in a horror movie and they're gonna scream. Nice. And like it, so I will say that this really surprised me in being like a pretty decent horror movie. And what I will say is that a lot of times when they turn like short films into feature lengths, like Lights Out is one that comes to mind.
Yep.
A lot of people are like, yeah, it worked better as a short film. I will say I think this one works a lot better as a feature. I like what they expanded on, and I think for me it's enough. I'm
So
okay
it's
with
not long and drawn out because it's 3 times as long.
I just think no, I mean like I didn't dislike the short film. I liked that. I thought it was impressive that like literally the whole thing is one dude in a room. There's not much, not many like special effects.
It's almost
or
more
anything.
like a proof of concept.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. And I liked what this one added, and it's kind of like I think I was talking with you guys, maybe with someone else. Like H.P. Lovecraft is so scary, so effective because of how vague his writing is, and it's why it's so hard to make. And I don't know if there ever has been an adaptation, like a film adaptation of his work that is like on the same level, because in film you have to, I mean, you don't have to if you know how to do it, but like you have to visualize it, you have to show stuff. But his monsters and stuff are so like they're so creepy when you think about them, because it's just like hard to even comprehend what they look like. So your head fills in these details, and there's like a saying or something that like the scariest things are like what you come up with. So like that's why a lot of good
box,
like
J.J. Abrams like box,
kind of like that, yeah, like
Well,
the
I mean,
mystery box.
that's
mystery
why,
box. Is what's called.
and that's why like when the moments where like you actually got to see like the woman in the mirror, and like she had like that was like the weakest part, was actually seeing the thing, because I was like,
the first time I saw her, I was like, ooh,
yeah, it was effective, but like the more
Yeah.
screen time she got, I was like,
sure.
Yeah.
ugh, that just looks like
once
Okay.
normal
And then-
horror movie tropes. I was like,
once you see it, it's not scary anymore. It's the whole thing like with Blair Witch. The whole time you're just like, oh, I don't want to see her, and then
I will say at the end though, it does help having that like frequent visual of the mirror eyes for when you see Kaylee at the end, because you're just like, oh
yeah,
shit.
yeah, she
Like,
got
yeah.
got.
Just seeing that, I think I actually went like, oh fuck.
Well, like
Even
the
though,
parallelism
Yeah.
of like the younger version of Timbo being like carted
Yeah.
away and
That
seeing
too,
his
yeah,
parents, and
God,
then
that-
as
like,
adult
yeah.
he sees like the rest of his
Pairing that
family
It was the
together.
watching.
mirror. It was the mirror.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
that whole ending.
Sucks.
Yeah, the ending was very.
And
I
it's
was
set
the
up
ending was
perfectly because he was
very
already in like the psychiatric ward
Yeah.
or whatever, and
So
then
there's,
like, oh, it's the mirror, and they're like, yeah, sure, kid, the
Exactly.
mirror did it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so now it's like, okay, we shouldn't have let him out. So now he's gonna be
Yeah.
here, like the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm kind of on the opposite end where, like I said, I think horror is better and more affecting when it's shorter. So I almost was thinking like this would make a really good Black Mirror episode.
Yeah.
But also on the other hand, I
Yeah,
could see how
digital
they could make it longer and almost structure it very similarly to Hill House, where it's like
Mhm.
they're showing the back, like the kid stuff, like when they're kids, and then like it's going to the present where Kaylee's like
Yeah.
doing research and like, oh, then she did this, it killed this person, and they could
Yeah, and
definitely
then
like
you have,
stretch
like,
it out.
Like Timbo sessions with the psychiatrist,
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah,
it, like
yeah.
trying to
Yeah,
interpret
that's
things.
probably is what it. Yeah,
They
and
definitely
be cool.
could.
I
I
think
just
like,
don't.
yeah,
I don't.
we got Hill House, but
Yeah.
I think like for this being this guy's, it's his second movie, but it's his first like big studio movie, first time director in that sense on like a big scene.
Mhm.
He, I think for what it is, I think it's in that regard, I think it's about like the best you can ask for, because like they were like, no, you gotta make this a tight 90. We just need a horror movie that we can ship to people, put a hot girl in it, and then like he's like, okay, but I'm actually gonna put some thought into it, and they're like, okay, as long as it's short.
And he did it. It
Yeah.
worked, and it did.
So,
I'll say this: it was a good movie. I liked it.
Yeah.
It did work.
and that's
does-
and I guess that's what I'm saying, is that like for what it is, I also, I was ragging on Isaiah about this. I can't remember what we were talking about, like an Avengers movie or something, but like I don't. It depends on the context, but I don't typically like to think like I'll think of like, oh, I wish it had this, I wish it had this, but I don't know if it's like a fair critique if you're saying like I wish that there was more of this thing in the movie.
Yeah, yeah, but also I
Depends
feel
on the
like that's
context.
just a way. That's just a way. So I'm normally the same way. I tend not to want to change things about art.
Mhm.
I just like let it be how it is. But like when you like, I think saying I wish that more things would have happened. I think that's just like a turn of phrase to say I feel like this movie's characterization was not
Okay.
excellent.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm, as far as character-wise,
So-
I guess there could have been more. Yeah. I just, again, I don't think that, like, personally, I don't think it took as much away from me, because I was just trying to like I
You're just trying to get
definitely,
spooked.
yeah, I guess
You were
so.
there
I was trying to get spooked.
to get your spooky dick hard, and then you did it, and then you came, and then
Oh yeah,
and then
exactly.
You're done.
Yeah, I just jizzed
90
in my
minutes
own
later.
mouth, and that kind of filled in any sort of
Oh,
Yeah.
anything that was lacking. That's what you got to do. You got to fill it in yourself. You got to fill in those blanks yourself.
This movie needed Tim Robinson to be like, do any of the fuckers in this mirror?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel like we're in wrap up territory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To continue the the.
I was gonna say, yeah.
We gotta,
If you just want to keep rolling to your wrap up, Moose, you can start us off.
I was gonna say
Sure.
wrap up like like a condom.
Oh, wrap up.
Oh yeah.
There it
all this
is. I
jizz
like
talk.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So today I've learned that horror movies don't need characterization.
Okay.
And I just don't know how to consume horror media, and that's okay. I'm learning.
You're correct.
This is why I'm doing this podcast, to get to know these new movies,
How to watch
and
movies.
expose
Yes.
myself to this sort of thing, and
You're getting it. Yes. So far, so good.
maybe Eraserhead
It's brilliant. It's genius.
is better than a 3. I don't know. I'll have to do this
3.5.
podcast. I'll have to do this podcast more before I'm like sophisticated enough to understand, Eraserhead. But in all seriousness,
that's when you know Moose is really broken, is when we get him to do an integer rating.
Yeah.
We just needed a scene with Henry holding and kissing his baby, and then I would have understood it.
Yeah. It's just for me, I just really fucking like characters. That's what does it for me. And like with comedies, that's what makes a strong comedy, is having, strong characters, strong funny characters, as opposed to, jokes. And I guess with horror, that's not one of the things you need to make a strong horror film. So that being said, I like this movie a lot. That was my only gripe with it, was the characterization. I realized, because all my complaints about the mirror, I think, are also like treating the mirror as a character, wishing that I got to know the mirror better as a character. And so that's my only complaint. I liked it a lot. It was fun. I got to be scared, and TJ got to laugh at how scared I was.
Yeah, that definitely enhanced my experience.
Yeah, it was scary enough to where, like, if I wasn't watching it with TJ, if I was just alone, I would have paused it,
Turned it off
20 minutes in, and not gotten back to it, like I did to La La Land.
Yeah, that's scary stuff.
Because I got too overwhelmed. Not because it was I guess the emotions got so strong that I needed to take a break. But TJ helped me get through it. And
I thought you liked characterization.
Yeah.
But you turn it off 20 minutes into it.
Oh, La La Land? No,
Yeah.
I made it most of the way through La La Land. No, because that's the thing, is because they got into this argument, and I was like, no, I want you to love each other, and then I just couldn't handle it. It was too emotional. It's what I need from a movie.
Too much characterization.
But it was no.
It's got to be right in the center.
There's a no. That movie is better for having that much characterization. I am weak. I cannot handle it as a person, because it reminds me of my childhood, when my parents and my sister would yell at each other, and I would go hide in my room and listen to music. Like, it's like, oh no, I can't handle all of these intense emotions. But I crave it, because like I need to experience them in like a positive, like safe way, I guess. I don't know. I should go to therapy. But the point is, this movie's a 7 out of 10 for me.
Okay. All right, I'll follow up, because I had something I wanted to. In my wrap up, so the whole thing about like characterization not mattering to me, it's like, I think that there's a lot of elements that make up a good movie, and to me, if a movie fails in one aspect or doesn't fully, finish in my mouth, if it makes up for it in different areas, that kind of picks up the slack. So it's like, sure, this movie isn't perfect. A lot of movies aren't perfect. A lot of movies I really love aren't perfect, but they make up for the imperfections in other areas that I enjoy. So what I'm not saying is that characterization doesn't matter because it's a scary movie. This movie would be a better movie if it would have been able to, I guess, I think that the length is really good, but like it could have potentially been a better movie. I don't know if it would have been, but like, say it could have potentially been a better movie if it handled the characterization better, but it still didn't bother me as much, because I think it made up for it in other areas. And also, in a case like this, where I'm familiar with the director, I generally enjoy their work, and I know, because of something like Hill House, that he can write good characters. He can do this. I also kind of give it a pass in that area. So I get that it's a little, I understand that that's a personal like bias, but that's why what I am doing is I am stating my opinion. I am not saying that this is the objective way to view this movie. So from my opinion, from my point of view, knowing that this director can write good characters, if he has more time, if he has more budget, if he has more freedom,
I see.
I can forgive a lack in that area for this, because I'm like, yeah, maybe some of the characters are a little thin, but I still know the guy can do it.
True.
And, you know, and all that said, I'm also sitting at a 7 again. So, because yeah, it's I don't really know why. It just feels right for me. Because I don't have a ton of major complaints. I just know that like ultimately my rating goes by feeling, and I didn't love it. I don't like it as much as a couple of his other things. I really I really love some of his stuff, and this didn't quite reach that level, but I still think it's like a standout for horrors for like the past decade. I think it's pretty solid horror movie.
So I don't know if I've ever told you guys this before. I have seen one episode of Hill House. It was years ago, like when it was brand new, and I watched it, and I thought the dialogue was not great, and I think I was like, "This is I don't know if I'm feeling this." I mean I want to return to it because it's spooky season, but
Was
based
it
on that first episode,
the first episode?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said
like,
a episode, and I was like,
yeah,
was it like
no, I just
in the middle?
But
picked a random. Yeah. No, so like my first impression was like, this dialogue feels like that, like we know we're in a movie type of dialogue, and like
yeah,
speaking in a way that's like not how people talk. I don't know.
Okay.
Which, so I guess for my review, based on that one episode of this other guy's work that I've seen, the less of that, the better.
Okay.
So for me, I filled in a lot of the spaces. Like I understood like the relationships between the family pretty well. I thought it was the Pete Davidson amount of like familial stuff that you needed in it. Because like if it just felt, you know, it felt very, very lean, very trimmed. This movie feels more like a masterclass in how to do like proper modern horror in terms of like pacing, style, atmosphere, you know, tell, don't show, all of that kind of stuff. This is like a breath of fresh air for the genre, where it's all just like bullshit jump scares and like cheap. Oh, he opened up the cabinet, and then he shut the cabinet, and the monster's behind him. Ooh, I wasn't expecting that.
yeah.
And so I thought this was like very well crafted, especially for like 2013. And you said this is his first directorial movie?
It's his second. It's his first like big budget. His first was like an indie like little thing.
Yeah. For like a second film, it felt very tight, and it did all of the right things the way that it was supposed to, and it was enjoyable. So I'm gonna go with an 8. I'm gonna hit it with an 8.
Okay. I think an 8. Yeah.
And like you've said before, 8s mean different things. I would give another movie an 8 for different reasons. That doesn't mean that they're like equivalent. 8 is like, this is what an 8 means.
I gave this a 7, and I gave Dream Warriors a 7 for very different reasons.
Yeah.
There's lots of dimensions in this like space, and you're trying to collapse it onto one.
Yeah,
0 to 10
is the one of
the color wheel.
One of the many inherent issues with trying to assign number grades to movies.
Yeah.
But hey, it's got to do what I tell you all to. So
it's a spectrum. Yeah. So I think I'm also going to say 8.
Nice.
I think that I don't know, like kind of what Nick was saying before about finding holes in it or whatever. I think especially with horror and especially like supernatural horror stuff like this, it's like the more detailed you get, the more holes you find, and then when you try to wrap it up, it's like not as satisfying necessarily, because it's just like, oh, they just had to spray the corpse with holy water. That's all it was. And
if you poke holes in the condom, you can't wrap it up
holes
as well.
in Freddy.
Yeah. And I think also, I mean, this is obviously my personal opinion. I think when horror's shorter and there's more holes that aren't explained.
We need more shorter horrors.
Shorter horrors.
Burglar alarms.
They don't fill in the blanks, like a big thing of horror is mystery and like not knowing stuff. So I think not filling stuff in can lend itself well to certain stories and
like H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah. Or like one of my favorite like horror stories is I don't remember what it's called, but it's a Stephen King one, and it's the devil one.
Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah, with Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
No, but I can't remember. It's just a guy. I don't really remember the story, but it's like he's a kid or a guy is walking and he's talking to this guy, and it turns out at the end that it was the devil the whole time or something.
That sounds familiar.
But it's really good, and it's like just really short.
I mean, Stephen King's best works are his short stories.
Yeah.
Or shorter stories, at least. Like
if you
by far the
want,
most film adaptations are from his short stories.
Yeah.
I
Stand
think
by Me is
maybe that's why
one of the best.
I lean more towards the shorter horror stuff is just based on Stephen King stuff, because like his long stuff is just
too much.
Yeah.
11/22/63. Oh my god. It's a good book, but holy shit, there's like 200 pages about him living in Texas, and that's like it. He just lives in Texas.
Yep.
That's it.
So, yeah, 8. 8's
Cool.
my final answer.
Awesome. Okay. Should we have like a natural transition into a wrap up thing? But so now we're doing.
Speaking of 8s, we'll be back in 8
days ish, sort of,
give or take.
Yeah, right. For the Twitch stream, for the live audience, it'll be a little bit longer. That's why we did this double episode.
There will be doubles.
But nice. And so like later next week.
Pull from the cup though.
No, because we're recommending.
We're
doing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah.
Spooky
Is it bedeviled time?
Yeah. So that's what. No, yours is going last, right?
Oh, that's right.
I think because like I said, if we're just any of us could have picked a dud, but I said since you are the only one that did one, we'll keep you at the end to keep with the same pattern or whatever.
Gotcha.
What do you think? Do you want to go next, Moose, or should I? Because I think we both have ours picked, but
let's watch Get Out. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, nice.
Get Out from 2017, I think, directed by Jordan Peele. Yeah, cool. I've only seen it the one time, so happy to read.
I've seen Us, so I have an idea for his horror style.
The vibe, definitely the same.
Get Out yet?
Same vibe for sure. Yeah, I think that'll be a good one to talk about for sure. 4 white guys talking. Oh no, we have to get Dagan on, right? To get.
Oh my god! All right, I'm cutting the stream.
Guess who's coming to class?
That's so funny. That's so funny that this was Dagan's movie and he's not even on the episode. What are we doing?
I know.
Yeah. I know. That's why I wish we would have known them behind the scenes, so we could have like pulled an audible or something.
Huh?
Since yeah.
Oh, if we'd have known ahead of time and just like switched around the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I wish you would have.
We'll just send this over to Dagan, and anytime there's like a space, we'll have him try to fill in stuff.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. He said he had
5 seconds of space. So he's like, and then anyway, I thought this was, and then we start talking.
Totally off topic.
I think he said he even watched both of them too, but yeah.
That'll be his intro topic for the next one.
Are these? Yeah. There we go. Okay.
As always.
I don't know. Do we have anything else to say other than? I just feel it feels weird. Just like usually after the movie, we kind of like keep going for a little bit. If we don't,
the shit.
That's fine. Maybe this is the effect of doing 2 episodes in a row.
Well,
we're just like
I wasn't as strict on the timer this time because I figured like,
I know.
this one's a little bit more
headier.
Hey,
Yeah, to talk
we did
about
2
it.
episodes, and we're
Hey,
under
Lamar.
4 hours, so I think that's good at least.
Yeah, and I got
Yeah, we definitely-
Plus our
We
plus
could-
our little break, we had like a 5-10 minute break, so
Yeah.
you know,
Plus 2
it
it.
is possible.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
Nailed
it's perfect. I think it's very doable.
I think so
That
too.
length.
We'll
Hell yeah.
see if we have 5 of us on, but you know, it might be
Yeah.
a little meh.
We just
have
won't
to
be
talk
able to talk
faster.
or talk less.
Yeah. I guess I'll say you know,
That's all, folks.
again,
Nailed it.
yeah, if you're listening to us in podcast form, give us a follow at twitch.tv/therewillbeduds, and vice versa. If you're watching us on Twitch, go subscribe to the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, rate and review on there, all that good stuff. I don't use it, so I don't really know how it works, so don't ask me, but I'm telling you what to do. And then yeah, we got social pages on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. So
We also have a YouTube.
we also
Yeah,
have a
the
YouTube.
YouTube.
I just forget about that.
The
where
VODs get uploaded to YouTube, so you can still
Yep.
at least see
And
it.
Travis's special
And
Amadeus.
supplemental materials,
Yeah, supplemental materials. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
planning on keeping that like an
podcast
ongoing thing, too.
enhancers.
Yeah, whenever we have something like that, that's what I'm also using that channel as a dumping ground for. I can't think of one for this movie. I am
spent.
your beautiful Squidward looking art curator boyfriend, J-Spot
Yes.
Jack Cheese, aka TJ, and with me as always.
I am your supple pomegranate with a heart of glass. Was that a pomegranate or was it an apple?
It was an apple.
It was an apple, and you always fucking take mine.
Is that what I?
Oh,
damn
really?
It, damn it.
Yeah.
AKA Nick, also known as Dr. Funk on Twitch.
Oh yeah, it's me.
Yeah.
I am your disappearing covered mannequin, Travis, aka the Super General.
And I am your lady in the office who's fucking your dad, Moose Pod, aka Tommy.
Oh, Kelly
That
says
was-
I'm your sometimes seen by cell phone, sometimes not chat spammer. So,
That's good. That was a really
Shoutouts.
good one. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Shit.
All right. Well, until next time, make sure you watch Get Out. If you don't want to be spoiled for it, catch you later, people.
bye bye.
Peace.